Elder Peacekeeper and Equality to deal with the Spectral Knight. So it's an interesting dynamic that other classes get stronger but weaker to some of these cards, and Paladin is able to kind of stay consistent against it.
I still feel like they will go to fatigue. Like those cards, those decks. It's like we know that Warrior has this clear way to win the game with like Gorhal and Grommash, but I feel like they will still just trade blows and go to fatigue. So that's my bet. And we can now see the mulligan.
All right. Well, I think
both
you are
players.
onto something because Paladin games are really slow.
Who
I
has
think
the coin?
oh, sorry, Nips, you're lagging a little bit on Skype for me.
Oh, sorry.
My bad. What were we talking about? The opening mulligans, right?
Yeah, we kind of missed them, but it seems like Realz has the coin. Can you hear me well, by the way?
I can. You're perfectly clear.
Perfect. So Xixo opening hand with double Taskmaster, Execute, and Furyworks, and he has the Grommash already. But this hand looks pretty weird versus Paladin. Like, I'm sure he would like to draw into those mid-game cards that he's running, like Lotheb, Belchers, Kerns, at some point at least. On the other hand, Realz has everything, I guess. Every turn, a pretty good curve, and all the cards he needs.
I think the curve is really important for Paladin because usually if the curve doesn't work out, you're using your hero power, and the hero power is just an inferior way to utilize your curve because you want to be putting more powerful minions on the board. So this is really nice for Realz to get a good start. The Fiery War Axe trades really evenly with these Harvest Golems. Unfortunately, the Cruel Taskmaster is also able to clean up. So Realz he's not able to get the quick start he wants to be able to pressure Warrior out of the armor. But at the same time, at least he's able to draw out things like these Cruel Taskmasters. So that way he doesn't able to activate things like his Acolytes and late game for Grommash.
Also, Xixo was able to draw into his mid-range minions, and it was pretty interesting. Like, both players have Harrison Jones, so we won't be seeing many weapon fights in this game.
Probably not. We'll see some draws, which is great, so that way the game can continue to go closer to that fatigue, like you mentioned. Have to imagine Nakodo comes out here to challenge Lotheb as well as remove a 2 damage minion off the board. And again, this game is being played fast, but expected to slow down very soon when these guys are realizing that big creatures are coming down, only one thing's dropping at a time, and you're taking your time to figure out how you want to spend your removal.
Actually, I think like Xixo is one of the players who plays really fast. I would like to mention that the pace of the game is also pretty important because sometimes in the card games, you just draw your opponent into some kind of pace. Like if Realz feels like he can allow himself to play really fast, he can prompt Xixo to play fast as well. So you sling those cards, your opponent thinks, oh my god, this game is so fast, so I have to play faster as well. So they don't realize that normally they could actually take their time and think about playing cards. They are drawn at the pace that you're setting. And this is one of the tools that pro players also use to get an edge.
Now, interestingly enough, Realz is flirting with the idea of putting down this Elder Peacekeeper. And yeah, just like you said, is taking his time, and Realz is going to sucker him into playing at least a little bit slower. And I think it's great because he knows his opponent probably has the likelihood of something like Harrison Jones. True Silver just to remove doesn't feel that efficient. And so I think you're going to put out smaller minions to try once again to force out all of these removals unnecessarily from the Warrior.
Being Xixo here, what do you do? This turn seems bad. You can't really remove the board effectively. You kind of would like probably to play that Harrison Jones. But on the other hand, oh, by the way, do you keep Harrison Jones for Ashbringer? Or do you remove the True Silver Champion?
It's like a chicken and the egg scenario, right? When you don't do it, like your opponent's not going to be playing something like Tyrion for a long time. But then if you play Harrison Jones, you like allow Tyrion to play that much quicker. So I think it really depends on how Realz senses his opponent has Harrison Jones. Maybe he's been doing some scouting and like trying to figure out if Xixo is likely to play Harrison Jones in previous things. But it seems like Xixo is going for the greedy one and trying to shut down the Ashbringer from Tyrion instead. Because it is a secret card that he's not necessarily expecting, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure that Realz actually seen the Harrison Jones. I'm sure that players don't have that much information about the decks of their opponents because the decks were actually secret. So Yeah, it looks like Harrison Jones will be hunting that Ashbringer, and here, Xixo can't even play the Brawl. It's 10 points of
Nope, it's a
mana.
10 mana cost brawl, and Xixo will be taking big damage as well. Might have to play something like Gromosh just to relieve pressure, but that is one of your ways to win the game.
Oh man, you're just losing your teeth, and
Oh, I don't.
how are you going to
that
win without it?
stings. Yep.
Now this Gromosh is just biting the dust next turn.
And this is where you can kind of make a case where the Harrison Jones was better on the True Silver. It was able to draw a card. You're not necessarily committed to use something like Gromosh. You're able to have a 5 attack creature challenge Lotheb if it came down anyways. So Xixo is now kind of reaping the repercussions of what he chose a few turns back.
Yeah, now this Harrison Jones just doesn't matter at all when you play it and just draw one card. After losing Gromosh, this board is still hard to clear.
At the same time, he does have Brawl. Like it's not necessarily the hardest to clear. He's got Brawl. If he has ways to follow it up, he still can come back in this game. But Paladin is sitting at a really nice spot. He picks up things like the Lay on Hand, so that way late game he can just completely run away with it.
Do you drop Tyrion here, by the way? Or are you afraid of Brawl? By the way, Brawl into Harrison Jones. What a sick play.
Oh, for the Tyrion? Yeah. Shut down the minion, assuming he doesn't live. And then you steal steal his weapon and then draw 3 cards.
You can
Really
still get
big
unlucky.
momentum swing.
You can still get unlucky, and actually Tyrion will be the one minion left on
Exactly.
board.
I think Lay on Hands makes sense. You just continue to extend your lead. There's no rush. Paladin takes this game extremely slow in this matchup. And you also draw into things like Karen, which gives the warrior a hard time moving still.
Xixo's hand looks so unexciting right now. I just can't believe how Realz is able to capitalize on all the values the Paladin brings. Like, he has strong board with a lot of Natural, he has a full hand, full health. He's just wrecking this game. It's like, how do you even defeat Realz at this point?
He's got so much heals, he's got AoE clear, and he's got ways to answer whatever Xixo does, because one of the ways he may be able to climb back is something like a Gore Howl, so he can tackle big minions like Cairn and Guardian of Kings. But nope, Realz is just going to play a super patient. Just look at all of these hero powers starting to trickle in and shred the armor, and basically take away what Xixo's one advantage is, which is health.
So now I want to see if KitKats lied. I want to see that brawl and see if the Armor Smith is the only one that survives.
Ah, Gore Howl.
Pickup.
Okay, well that allows him to kind of pick up the value, but once again, Harrison Jones making an appearance and flexing his muscles and showing why he is a great swing card for these high-level tournaments where you're able to keep some of these cards secret. As now the Gore Howl will go out, and that almost certainly seals the game because I don't feel like Xixo can come back. He's lost so much of his win condition.
Harrison Jones here is so good. It's like, drop this card for 5 mana, bring a 5/4, destroy 7 mana crystals on the opposing side from the previous turn, and draw a card. Got so much value there.
The Gore Howl killed also the ooze that was remaining from the Sludge Belcher, so it wasn't even like the first Gore Howl charge was able to get something good. Devastating right now for Xixo fans as he's looking pretty helpless against the onslaught. I think the Brawl here has to strike big, but if it leaves something like Harrison Jones or Bane, I think Xixo is just going to be taking more and more damage to the point where he can't come back.
He actually hits a small 1/1 dude, which is probably good for Xixo, but still, Realz has so many cards, so many options in his hand. He still has that Tyrion.
Nice, Defender of Argus. Again, he's just making sure to save what he needs to do. Like, Paladin doesn't have to rush into this. It's part of one of the most infuriating things also about playing Paladin is because you can't just end the game early. So if you're laddering with Paladin, your games often take a long time, and you climb like 1/3 as fast as Zoo, or Miracle, or Hunter.
But you have to be patient. But I believe that if you're patient, you're actually getting a pretty sweet win rate. Even though the games take long, you just win, right?
And speaking of being patient, Xixo was very patient with Harrison Jones, but unfortunately, he was not able to get any kind of momentum. This Harrison Jones is solely because he has nothing else to do. Realz now has the ability to play something like Tyrion, I feel. Brawl's been played. Harrison Jones has been exposed. At the same time, I don't feel like he needs to.
Yeah, like Realz right now can just chill and play whatever he wants to. It doesn't matter.
Quality. Why not? Drop the Tyrion afterwards. You have the free board. Oh.
He can execute his own Sylvanas. Or maybe not. He can't even shield slam him. I mean, he can shield slam Sylvanas, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh, if only. If you could execute your own Sylvanas, you have a 1/3 chance of stealing something good. Xixo is in big trouble. He can't really do anything as Realz has lethal right here with double consecration. Game number 1 goes to the Mana Grind player who's been doing all kinds of wonders with the Paladin deck.
Are we going to see a sweep again?
I don't think so. I mean, I feel like Xixo is way too good. Xixo has to win 2 games right here. And I think maybe the Warrior into...
Like, when to do it. It's like he's saving the cards that are key for the key turns, and he's just winning. He's just winning those games. So we talked about it already, but if Realz is able to just slow the Miracle Rogue down, and if he's able to answer the big threats, then he'll just heal up and then win the game right there.
I'm actually happy that Realz is destroying with the Paladin. There's a lot of criticism on him after his first performances in Fight Night where he was not able to win. I don't think any of his series until the very last one. And then, there was just things where he was winning with Miracle Rogue and Tavern Takeover, right? He won the tournament. People were like, wow, he just played Miracle Rogue and abused it all the way to win. I think he's now showing again his versatility of just plugging in his Hearthstone knowledge and being able to adapt it to all kinds of styles, whether it's aggressive, like that Warlock deck. Well, I don't even know if you're aggressive with that Warlock deck. I'm not sure. But he's also being able to flip it around and play heavy control styles with Paladin. And it's a class that a lot of people are not versed in. I think that's throwing people off. Not many people know how to play against Paladin, let alone play Paladin.
Oh yeah, definitely agree. I was facing Paladin and I am Shenzhen, and I was also confused how to play against it. So it's definitely a tricky deck to play against. Also because it has so many different options. It has board clears, like big minions and heals and stuff. So it's pretty tricky to play against.
Okay, opening starting hand from Realz once again curving out nicely. Xixo has a Violet Teacher in his Miracle Rogue deck. This is not the first time I've seen it, but I've also only seen it once, and it didn't really go that well. So maybe it does go well with Xixo. What do you think about this?
I'm really confused. Like I'm actually watching. I'm looking at the list, and there is one Violet Teacher. He only runs 1 Fun of Knives. I'm not sure. It might be good, but versus a metagame with Hunters and Druids as well, I guess it's not that good. But maybe it works for Xixo.
It's a board development card, right? With so many spells that Rogue has, and you're replacing something like Gnomish Inventor / Sentient Shieldmaster, which has about the similar stats-ish, but they could accomplish different things, right? Sentient is for defense, Gnomish Inventor is for the card advantage and draw, and then Violet Teacher is for board development. So this is another interesting small innovation that Xixo does. Like he likes doing this. He likes inserting, Mad Bomber into Control Warrior or Cult Master into Zoo, and now he's doing it with Violet Teacher into Miracle Rogue.
Also, Xixo is running Double Conceal, so with Violet Teacher and Double Conceal, he might be a bit more aggressive, which is not visible here. Here, Realz goes all in with all those cards that are hard to remove, and Xixo has to spend his resources to deal with his board, but he can't clear it fully. And he already took 11 points of damage, so somehow Realz is an aggressive player here. Like, what's going on?
How is this happening? The Paladin's the one putting on pressure against the Miracle Rogue. And I mean, normally Miracle is the control player against aggressive decks, and you're spending removal. It feels like, in a way, like the Miracle is going up against like a zoo equivalent, right? Where you have to just spend removal, stabilize, do anything you can. But Realz is the one playing the control Paladin. I think he's showing that you can turn on the jets if you need to and apply pressure. And look at this again, just going full throttle forward.
I'm so confused right now. Did he actually swap a couple of cards when we weren't looking and turn his deck into an aggro Paladin somehow?
Absolutely not. I think he's just adapting to the situation. You know, handlock players sometimes do this too. People expect the handlock to life tap a few turns before they drop their Mountain Giants and Twilight Drakes on turn 4. But they also have the option of doing things like dropping Ancient Watcher, silencing it, and being aggressive.
And like coin it on turn 1 and then play Sun Fury Protector?
Sure, and deny the Spectral Knight from being able to do damage all game long. Love it.
Man, the pacifist Spectral Knight. You love it, you hate it?
It's great. It makes for an entertaining broadcast, that's for sure. Violet Teacher comes out here for Xixo, and he's trying his best to address the board, but it seems like he has to spend so much of his resources stabilizing because Rogue's taken 15 damage already.
I'm amazed that it actually works out. Like Realz is winning this game, kind of. It's like Xixo doesn't have an auctioneer. He has some damage potential with the cards he has. He uses that conceal because he has 2, so he can use it now.
Tyrion draw. Now that's really vulnerable to sap, and Realz realizes it, but I was kind of expecting a Consecration top deck so that way he can answer the concealed minions. This is kind of cool, the fact that you conceal so many of these small minions. It's very interesting. And
I
again,
guess like Realz wants to draw into the True Silver Champion. That would be so devastating. 8 points of damage in a course of 2 turns.
And maybe he can do it.
Yeah, maybe he can get it. And here, like, Xixo doesn't have a good way to clear this board. He'll have to trade into those minions.
I think if in the next couple of turns, if Tyrion is if Tyrion can be dealt with, though, I feel like Xixo still has an opportunity to maybe turn this around. But it's going to be tough. Even if he picks up Gadgetzan in a way that's kind of a dead draw, he has no way to try to chain those spells together because he has nothing. He only has Deadly Poison.
I think like Azure Drake would be important. His hand is so weird, by the way. It's kind of like a minion-based Miracle Rogue, even though he actually has a pretty standard list. The only difference is the Violet Teacher, so don't get confused by it, but he's playing normal Miracle Rogue. It's just his hand is so weird. And he dropped to 9. He's so close.
He's representing lethal, like the possibility of lethal if he just has something like a True Silver Champion. So Xixo has to kind of respond to this immediately and do some damage control. I just can't believe it, the fact that the Paladin's able to do this much and constantly pressure the Miracle Rogue. But with Paladin, we know that the amount of burst without things like Avenge
I am ready to learn.
And is a little bit tricky to kind of be able. He does have things like this Violet Teacher's apprentices able to kind of also clean up shop a little bit.
Oh my god! And Xixo doesn't have a sap, so if Realz can actually play a YOLO Tyrion next turn,
I think that is absolutely the play.
Or if he gets a Consecration, Equality, or even a Pyromancer, just clear the board right there.
Well, let's find out and see what happens. Xixo is running out of time, but we know that he's just trying to pick the best way to clear without giving up too much health. He's trying to figure out what's the best way to do the draws. The Acolyte picks up the Guardian of Kings.
Xixo is down to 6.
Oh,
no pun intended. Oh my god, Pyromancer.
That allows him to clear, but I think Tyrion does come out because your opponent might stack more minions and you go for the quality clear. You bait everything out. Maybe he goes Gadgetzan, but Xixo top decks a preparation and that's not helpful.
Wait, is that it? Okay, I guess he'll probably miss 1 point of damage, but he has to deal with Tyrion, and there will be an Ashbringer coming. A legendary weapon from World of Warcraft.
I am ready to
he is going to be 1 damage off lethal until he picks
How
up
is this happening every time? Oh man.
I think
I
he's
would-
going for it, but this is going to be baiting into one of Xixo's only ability to win. He's going to be able to put out a huge Van Cleef, but then the equality play will also, well, it's actually not as big as I thought. It was going to be like 10-10, but it's only
Reels
6.
needs 1 point of damage. And is this a consecration?
If he tops at the consecration, that's it, just like you mentioned. But it's not, but he still can go for a board clear. In fact,
man, I would never expect this game to turn out like this.
this was a slight misplay from Realz, but I think I'm willing to allow it to pass. He could have equality, pyro, and then holy lighted. But as a result, he gave up his pyromancer. I think it might not matter anyways, though, because Xixo has to generate 26 damage with 3 cards and an Assassin's Blade. This game is over. Realz goes for the ultimate BM, and he's up 2-0.
This was just crazy. Oh my god. What just... And second paladin you played was Naxxramas. And now you're facing this paladin for a third time. What would you expect your opponent to play?
I don't know, mid-range combo style, Leroy Blessing of Wisdom, or Blessing of Might, excuse me, and Faceless for 18 damage, right?
Keeping it reals. Like, what else can you do? So, Xixo's Hunter list. I'm just browsing for it. Okay, got it. It's double freezing trap. He has the web spinners. He has 1 flare, 1 stone tusk boar. He has 1 iron big owl, which is pretty important. 1 OSE snapjaw, but other than that, it's standard list.
Keep in mind, guys, that Xixo needs to win 2 games or Amaz advances. This is game number 3, potentially the last in this series. Will Realz allow Amaz to go through and, again, make a statement by 3-0ing another person in his group with Paladin? If so, I'm going to say Realz is going to win this tournament with this kind of play. Like, this is ridiculous at this state.
Yeah, like 3-0 sweeps against those players where we have the best players in the world playing in this tournament is just so sick. And he got the coin.
And I feel like Realz' wins, as much as maybe he has nice curves sometimes, I don't really feel like it's a case where you can say it's RNG, right? That's one of the biggest things that you can always hold against a player. Oh, he won because of RNG. Where is our Realz' RNG coming in from here? I mean, he's just making solid decisions.
When you have 8 cards in your hand and you have to make complicated decisions every turn with 8 cards, 8 mana, there's like no RNG. Come on, you have so many decisions looking forward to with the cards that your opponent will play. I felt like with most of the matches, he really had them mapped out. He knew when to play cards. And here, Xixo has actually a pretty nice hand. I mean, he's missing the turn 3 drop, but Web Spinner into Haunted Creeper is always good.
He also has an Oasis Snapjaw, so there's that. And he's able to kind of do work with it. The Snapjaw is usually relegated to Silverhand Recruit cleanup duty. But at the same time, it's a big enough minion to survive everything. It can go toe-to-toe with the true Silver Champion, so Paladin can never build up value with it. Overall, it's a pretty decent card in this matchup.
A pretty nice Hound Master pickup. That will be a great follow-up to the 2-7 Snapjaw, turning it into 4-7. On the other hand, Realz has this equality and a lot of tokens, which is pretty devastating. So, do you Hound Master here? I guess you do. And just, what's the plan, by the way? Like, you just want, I guess, do you do a fight for board control being Xixo, or do you just go for face?
Well, you're kind of suspecting your opponent might respond with equality with this, and you don't want him to get a way to kind of go for full board clear. So I think you do clear up the minions, and that way at least you have one thing. So equality does come out. Unfortunate that Realz is 1 mana off of being able to use the Black Knight, but he stabilizes very cleanly and uses premium removal. Equality often doesn't. You're usually stuck in situations where it's like you have to use it on a high main. And you don't really have much use else of it because there's a lot of 1 health creatures inside the Hunter deck. So I think expending it here is okay.
Do you silence your 1-1 to turn it back to a 4-3? That would be so funny.
That's a little too creative, I think. You know that there's bigger threats on the board to use Ironbeak Owl. Like this Cairn.
Oh, we can actually deal with it really nicely.
Silence plus Deadly Shot.
The thing is, like, I don't feel like this is something you want to do, really, because if you get tied into a board control battle with a paladin, you are going to lose eventually. So Right now, like Realz is just throwing those minions, and he's happy to trade with them because he has so much value. Like the minions he's playing are just better, and he's getting better value here. And Hunter, he needs to push with damage. It's not the board control fight, kind of. Realz is going to win this battle with cards like Consecration and like Harvest Golems, and then Lotheb and Guardian even. So Hunter, I feel like Xixo is actually in a very bad spot in here.
Yeah, Xixo struggling. He has things like Freezing Trap and no way to continue on pressuring. I mean, the fact that he's not using 4 mana per turn is very indicative of how the game has been going.
All of
Realz
cards,
picks
yes,
up
are
Holy
conditional.
Light. These are great heals to deal with Hunter as well, because you know you can stall him out. He's perfectly fine with like losing something here. I think you drop Lotheb and a Harvest Golem or whatever you want, and then you're in a pretty good position.
Now also, Realz has a really nice play because you kind of want to play the Guardian, but you know that Guardian might have problems against Deadly Shot, and you know that your opponent just kept 4 cards, so he didn't play anything, so you probably can expect the Deadly Shot or Kill Command, so playing Wolf
Oh
is pretty
no.
smart.
Oh no, Animal Companion costs 8 mana because of the Lotheb. And Xixo is going to try to go for damage, but this is where things like Guardian of Kings and Holy Light really come into play, because you're able to keep healing outside of the range.
And also Realz has better minions again, so he can push with damage, he can trade easily. He can patiently wait, trade the board. Is he killing the 1/1?
Yeah, I mean, you gain a life, you don't give him ability to Houndmaster. Young Dragonhawk. Maybe he can make a career as a rap artist, but not as a Hearthstone minion.
Well, we are seeing it for the second time for Xixo. He had it also versus Amaz. Oh man, Realz is controlling the game again.
Wow, this is so unexciting. A Snapjaw just kind of gets destroyed. Animal Companion might give you an ability to push for damage if you get the Huffers. But it's a Misha, and that's exactly what True Silver Champion excels at, being able to pick apart double Misha.
Double Misha. I feel like he needed like a quadruple Huffer to actually win this game.
Black Knight is going to get some value.
Yeah, that Black Knight. It's a weird moment to actually get Misha. It's like the problem that Xixo is facing right now is also that he has no card draw. It's like he used his Buzzard. He got a pretty dead card from Web Spinner, and doesn't look good for him. He has no ability to actually deal damage here from this point. He has 5 potential damage from the hero power and a bow, and that's it. If both the bears are done, Realz just takes the game away.
Because Xixo just doesn't have ways to do damage. You know, one thing that Nimshin's been always asking throughout the course of this tournament and day is, how do you win? And there's no way for him to win because the hero power is not going to put him on a clock fast enough to end this game compared to the minion damage he does. I like utilizing equality and just being able to play Tyrion here. You're using up your weapon and play strictly into a 2-turn win if you're able to execute it. Xixo's going to deadly shot and he whiffs.
The mockery of this play. It's like the game wants Xixo to actually lose in here. The 1/1 threat
really tough.
with Wind Fury.
And the worst part is Freezing Trap can also easily be activated by something like a Silverhand Recruit. So the Paladin is perfectly tooled to respond to this over the next couple of turns. And once again, he's fine with taking this slow.
Oh, he's actually attacking? Maybe he's used to explosive traps from Amaz. He's under an impression that an explosive trap is actually the new thing.
Ah, that could be it. He is hesitating, though.
Well, the thing is, like, even if he attacks with Tyrion, he can still play it the same turn. But there is no need to rush. He has this game. He knows it.
Yep. His opponent needs Buzzard Unleashed to kind of pull him back with some big draw combos with Hunter's Mark, Savannah Highmanes to kind of follow up in the incoming turns.
With Stone Tusk, he can actually get a bit of a board control, but that's it.
Yeah, I guess he could. At this stage, the Dragonhawk is the only thing standing in the way of victory. Xixo concedes, and Real 3-0 with his Paladin once again.